Hey there. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a Slack bot that can either send scheduled reports to a specific channel or maybe conditional alerts based on a certain trigger. So perhaps you, for example, want your bot to monitor your sales data. And if there's a certain week over week change, for example, you want an alert sent to a specific channel. So really, really useful, great to create reports and alerts that are very timely and relevant where your stakeholders are. So what we're going to do in this demo is I'm going to show you how to set up a Slack app in your workspace, create a proper token, create a Python script to run the app and check for the condition, and then how to schedule this and get this up and running. So I'm going to be using Fabi to do this because it is kind of like the simplest way to get this up and running. But I will touch along the way on how you can do this without Fabi if you just want to do it sort of locally or with other solutions. So again, here what we're going to do is we're going to look at sales data, some week over week sales data, and we're going to monitor a condition, and we want to see if sales data has dipped this week, has dipped below the sales amount for the past week, and then if it has, then we will send an alert. Here's an example. So we have this Slackbot demo channel, and we are going to send an alert if and only if sales has decreased week over week. So to do that, the first thing that you need is access. You need a Slack app. So you will need Slack admin access. And if you don't have Slack admin access, then you should be able to ask your Slack admin to set this up for you. It's very simple. It takes about 10 minutes. And the cool thing with this is that you're not authorizing some third-party app. It's your token and you're writing the script yourself. Great from a security standpoint. So let's go here. So the first thing is you have to log into api.slack.com/apps, and it will bring you to this. And then you want to create a new app. From here, you're going to hit from scratch. Now you can call this whatever you want. I'm going to call this, I just called one test. I'm going to call this one test 2, for example. I think you can change this afterwards, so I wouldn't sweat it too much. But yeah, just name that whatever you want, and then select your workspace. And in this case, I'm going to select my Fabi workspace. I'm going to hit create app, and there we go. And of course, I'm going to be fully deleting this app and all the tokens after this recording for security purposes. So the first thing you want to do is on the left-hand side down here is you want to go to OAuth and permissions. So let's go ahead and click on that. And down here, you want to scroll down, and the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you have the right scope. So you want to make sure that your app that you're creating has effectively right permissions to at least public channels. There are a bunch of other scopes. I'm not familiar with all of them, so I don't know. I don't know what all these do. I think most of them are fairly self-explanatory. But again, we're going to stick to just publishing messages to public channels. And so there should be something called, chat right public. So we're going to click that. And in this case, it's going to also give me chat right. And I'm going to add that scope. And there we go. Now that we've done that, we're going to scroll back up. And we're going to go to OAuth tokens. And we're going to hit install to Fabi.ai. That's our workspace. So in your case, it would be whatever your workspace is called. Hit allow. And there we go. Now we have our token, which again, I'm going to delete after this. But your token should start with XOXB. If it doesn't, you're probably in the wrong place. So make sure it starts with that. Go ahead and copy your token, and now we're going to go over to Fabi. Now again, you don't have to do this in Fabi. This is where maybe just a bit of a sidebar, which is you can just do this anywhere where you can query your data and write Python. So if you want to do this locally, just pull up your IDE of choice, write just start a Python script, and you can do the same thing here. The only differences will come kind of to this. Well, one is if you're querying data, maybe a little bit different, maybe a little bit hard to do locally. Also, obviously, completely possible. It's just when it comes to scheduling and deploying this kind of in a production environment, things become a little bit more complicated, but we'll touch on that when we get there. So here, the first thing I'm doing is, actually, I'm just going to call this generating fake data. So this is just a Python cell that's literally just generating fake data. Again, if you're in Fabi, you can actually just query your data directly using SQL, and it will store it as a data frame. So that's kind of the beauty of using Fabi. And but either way, you want a Python data frame. So here I'm generating some fake sales data. I literally just have 5 weeks. You can see here we have it's the AI actually wrote this for me, but you can see here it's generating the weeks for the last 5 weeks from today, and it's giving those weeks the sales values of 10, 20, 30, 40. Sorry, 10, 20, 30, 40, 30. And then I'm displaying the results here. So this is stored as sales data. And then in the second cell, I'll call this Slack app. I actually also had the AI write this for me, and it got it in one shot. So probably the easiest way to get started. I also shared a code on our tutorial. But here's what's happening here is, of course, we're importing all the right packages and libraries. We are then setting this token. I'm going to set my token here. And then we are also setting the channel ID. So I'm selecting slackbot demo. You just pick wherever you want to send this information to. This here is just a part where we're computing the latest week over week change, and we're just computing the latest week over week change to see if it's positive or negative, because we want to send an alert if the week over week change for the last week is negative. And then there's this, this is really the meat of it. So what's effectively happening is we're looking to see if the latest change is negative. And if it is, then it will send this message here. So it'll send a little emoji, alert, sales decreased by, and it's passing this variable here, X amount compared to last week. And that's it. And if the latest change is greater than 0, then it's just not going to trigger that. So let's go ahead and try that here. Again, you can see here, I don't have, I do have a message, but that was from a while ago. So I'm going to hit run here. And there we go. Now let's go ahead and try this. Let's change this to 50. Let's say sales increased. I'm going to rerun this. It didn't send. Again, we can just do this one more time for fun. Hit run. And there we go. Now for the scheduling part. So if you are doing this locally, you just need to create a cron job. Again, I do in my tutorial talk about sort of listening to events. That's a whole different sort of story. But in this case, we are just kind of like regularly checking. So you probably don't want to be checking every 5 minutes, but assuming you only care about like week over week sales, like every few days, then you want to go and schedule this job to run. If you're doing this locally, you will have to use a cron job. And if you wanted that cron job to run, of course, when your laptop is closed, you will have to, or shut off, you will have to deploy that cron job with the script somewhere in the cloud. I will also link to sort of a way to do that, or I sort of talk about how to do it with Streamlit, so it's very similar. But you'll just have to find some way to do that, depending on your sort of infrastructure and environment. If you're in Fabi, then it's very simple. All you do is you go to report, and then here on the right hand side, you select schedule, select enable schedule run. You can even say every other day. You can even create a completely custom schedule, say every 3 days at 2 p.m., for example. And then it will write the cron job for you. You hit submit, and then you publish it. And just like that, your bot will go and scan your data on that schedule and send an alert send an alert on if the change is detected. That's pretty much it. Super simple, really powerful. Obviously, it's a great way to make sure that your alerts are very timely. And yeah, if you have any questions or feedback, please feel free to leave a comment or reach out. Thanks for listening.